Good afternoon. Welcome to All About Animals. I'm Sherry Gradator, and my guest today is Sandy Wisniewski, who is the president of Animal Education and Rescue, founder as well. I mean, credit where credit is due. But we're not here to talk about animal. I just forgot the name of the organization.
That's
again.
okay. Animal Education and
Rescue. We're here to talk about a food pantry for pet owners in Lake County. And do you limit to Lake County, Sandy?
We do.
Okay, so it's limited to Lake County residents. First off, why a food pantry? And I understand that your organization was the founder, the sponsor of this food pantry, correct?
Correct. We run the food pantry.
run it.
Correct.
Yes.
The reason why we run the food pantry is because they used to have one in Mundelein that serviced Lake County, and they closed in the fall. And they had been around for about 3 or 4 years and were doing a great service for the community. We would get calls periodically from people that couldn't afford to feed their animals, and we would send them to this pet food pantry. And we had heard that they closed. So we knew that there was a need for a food pantry, so I basically put it out there on the internet. I said, we're looking to start a pet food pantry, and we need a location. And within 10 minutes, I got a call from Central Bark in Grays Lake, and they agreed to house our supplies. So to me, that was a done deal. And we met with the owners of Central Bark and decided to start the pet food pantry. And it's the Lake County Pet Food Pantry, and we started it in January.
And you said you service how many animals now?
100 animals per week.
It's pretty scary. People don't realize that the economy, which is pinching us, is pinching animal owners even harder. Even harder. Because you have to feed yourself and you have to feed your children. But there are actually people getting rid of their animals because they can't afford to feed them.
Absolutely.
And so a food pantry is a wonderful thing. And I was impressed when we came in by the fact that there were literally people standing in line to come in to pick up food for their animals. Where do you get your food?
We get all of our food is donated food, or we purchase food for money that's allotted specifically for the Lake County Pet Food Pantry. So it could be individuals that donate food. We do fundraisers. Sometimes grocery stores will give us food, or different scouting troops will get food for us. So lots of different resources, but we definitely never have enough.
We saw, looking at your supply facility, the shelves are barren. There's not a lot of food there.
Pretty much every week we run out of food. And then the following week we're then trying to resupply with more food. So it's a chronic problem.
Of playing catch up.
Always.
And I think part of the problem, the reason that I wanted to do this show today, is that people don't know you exist.
Right.
And if they know that you exist, they don't know where you are, they don't know how to find you, they don't know what you need. And that's really what I want to come down to, is what you need. So, okay, what do you need?
Well, we service just cats and dogs. So we need cat food dry and canned. We need cat litter. We need dog food dry and canned. And that's basically what we service. We don't service other animals right now. We've got our hands full just servicing dogs and cats. And we need as much as we can. We could fill the entire storage facility, and within a month it can be completely gone.
Yeah, now we were talking about that this food pantry has literally only been in existence for 4 months.
Absolutely.
And you've built up a clientele of people who need you that's up to 100 animals a week.
Correct.
Projecting it forward, as people become more aware that you're here, I can see a situation where you could run out of food and there could be people standing in that line.
And actually we have run out of food. Unfortunately, there has been times towards the end of the 4 hours that we're there, and people are standing in line waiting for food, where we run out of, let's say, cat food, and we have to say, sorry, we're out. And right now we are supplementing food. We are not providing for people complete meals because we can't. We don't have that kind of supply. So it's supplemental. So we give them tips of what to do to increase the food for their dog or cat as well. Things like, believe it or not, Cheerios, to go to Aldi's or somewhere and get a big thing of Cheerios, rice, to include rice in with the meal, because there's only so much we can do. We are solely working on donations in order to provide the food. And I should mention too, a side thing that I think is hugely beneficial for this project that we have is the education. When people come in, oftentimes their animals are not up to date on shots, they're not spayed and neutered, they don't know where to go for it, or maybe they don't understand the importance of it. So our job is not only to help supplement their animals until they get on their feet, but also to give them resources for low-cost spay and neuter, for low-cost vaccinations, to try to encourage them to make sure that their animal is spayed and neutered and up to date on shots, and also to be a resource for any other questions or concerns that they may have as well.
Now you're staffed with volunteers. Do you have an educational program for those volunteers so that they have the answers to these questions?
Absolutely. Whenever a new volunteer starts, they receive a orientation that is 2 hours long. In addition, we do ongoing training. When they start at the pet food pantry, we have a manual, we have rules, policies, and so forth that they adhere to. We also have written out information on vaccination clinics and on low-cost spay-neuter clinics and so forth.
So you have the opportunity with people who are having problems, really, to not just feed, but to give support to all kinds of needs that they might have.
Absolutely.
Which is absolutely marvelous. I mean, it's a very impressive program. And when we talk about very impressive programs, we're talking about a food pantry that winds up with barren pantry shelves. So, if we were making a wish list, Sandy, we talked about this a little bit outside, that it doesn't have to be the premium dog foods or the premium cat foods. And there are reasons for that. You want to go through those for me?
Sure, absolutely. We actually are looking for the cheapest dog food and cat food, and canned or dry. The reason why, and this is something I learned when we were doing our research for the pet food pantry, is that when people get on their feet, they are going to end up purchasing their own food, and they're not going to get top shelf. I can promise you that, unless they win the lottery. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the cheap stuff at the store. So if we get their dog or cat accustomed to high quality food, and their dog and cat is on that for a period of time, and all of a sudden they're switching to the store brand dog food or cat food, then we have an issue of real bad stomach problems. So we would rather have them remain on the lesser expensive
less
food.
expensive foods, which will then be foods that are accessible to them as they... Now, what we're praying for, and we're praying for this greatly and hugely, is that these people do get on their feet.
Correct.
So this is a stopgap. This is a temporary measure. This is to get you through the hard times, the people who need it. And you're doing a hell of a job in a very little period of time. I'm terribly impressed with what you do here. I really, really am.
Thank you.
But you said right now you've got as many volunteers as you need.
Correct.
So if we were making a wish list, Sandy, and anybody who watches this show knows that I'm really good at wish lists. I think number one would be food. And just about anything?
Just about anything. Absolutely. Dog or cat, obviously.
Are you interested in treats, or do we not distribute treats?
It's not nearly as important.
Okay. So if you're spending your dollars on a donation for the food pantry, it's going to be groceries. It's going to be dog food, cat food, wet, dry. Those things are what they really need.
And cat litter.
And
That's
cat
a big
litter.
thing.
Cat litter is a big thing. And then there's another thing that we've not talked about, which is equally important, and it's green. And that's money.
Right, correct.
Because money allows you to buy those things that you don't have. In an emergency, if you've run out of something, you can at least have the dollars. Now, do all the dollars that come in as donations go directly to buy food?
If it's allotted for the pet food pantry, then yes, absolutely.
Okay. So this is one of those charities, guys, where it's not going 20% to the chairman of the board's salary and 50% to advertising. This is one of those places where every dollar that you put into this organization is going into some hungry animal's belly. It's a big deal. It's a good thing. I don't usually get this enthusiastic, forgive me. Okay, we are running short on time, Sandy. So how do they reach you, and where exactly are you?
Well, in order to reach us, you can call us at our main office. The phone number is 847-816-0831. Or if you want to stop by Central Bark, they are available Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. to drop off supplies. Central Bark is located in Grays Lake. And
the food bank itself is open?
It's Wednesdays and Fridays from 9 until noon. And if somebody wants to know what the qualifications are to actually receive food, they should contact us so that we could run down what they'd need to bring the first time they come.
Right, and we do specify that it's not for organizations, it is for individuals that need help with their pets. It is the difference between someone being able to keep his loving cat or dog and having to get rid of it. So, it's here, it's answering a need, but it has a need. Sandy, we're out of time. Okay. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I hope lots of people are watching who want to drop off lots of food. Now, if somebody had a massive amount of food, could somebody go and pick it up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No problem.
So, they'll get it if you got it, because they need it here. Mm-hmm. We're now going to Save a Pet to see some of the dogs and cats available there for adoption.